Hey, I hope everybody's doing good today. I'm just getting streaming here on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Just want to say what an interesting night and an interesting day with the election last night, and we'll see what happens, everybody. But yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful time to be alive, beautiful time to be here. So today I'm going to be reading from the book, the Tao Te Ching, written 2,500 years ago. And this book is called The Book of the Way. It's considered probably the book on oneness, on spirituality in a sense, but on oneness, written in a quite a unique way. This book was written 2,500 years ago to a friend. So I'll get to give you an example how this book was started. Let's say you and I were hanging out together, and let's say you and I are in New York. And I say to you, guess what, friend? I'm going to be leaving and I won't be back. I'm going to Australia and it takes 2.5 years to get there. And you're like, wait, Ryan, before you go, can you write me a book on the way of life? So I said, sure, right now? He said, yeah. I said, okay, give me a pen and paper and let me write you the book on the way of life. So this is how this book was written, the Tao Te Ching, the Book of the Way. I don't know if you can see that there, the Tao Te Ching. I don't know if that's backwards, but I'll put the link in the descriptions to some other full audiobooks and the PDF version for you guys to download. So you can check below in the link for the descriptions. I'll put it here in the video after. So I'm going to start with reading to you guys the first few chapters of the Tao Te Ching, and then we're going to continue along each day. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. This is called the Tao Te Ching, the Book of the Way. Tao, the way, that can be spoken of is not the constant Tao. The name that can be named is not a constant name. Nameless is the origin of heaven and earth. The named is the mother of all things. Thus, the constant void enables one to observe the true essence. The constant being enables one to see the outward manifestations. These two come paired from the same origin. But when the essence is manifested, it has a different name. This same origin is called the profound mystery. As profound the mystery as it can be, it is the gate to the essence of all life. As soon as beauty is known by the world as beauty, it becomes ugly. As soon as virtue is being known as something as good, it becomes evil. Therefore, being and non-being give birth to each other. Difficult and easy accomplish each other. Long and short form each other. High and low distinguish each other. Sound and tone harmonize each other. Before and after follow each other as a sequence. Realizing this, the saint performs effortlessly according to the natural way without personal desire, and practices the worldless teachings through one's deeds. The saint inspires the vitality of all lives without holding back. He nurtures all beings with no wish to take possession of. She devotes all his energy, but has no intention to hold on to the merit. When success is achieved, she seeks no recognition, because she does not claim for the credit, hence shall not lose it. Chapter 3. By not adoring the worthy, people will not fall into dispute. By not valuing the hard-to-get objects, people will not become robbers. By not seeing the desires of lust, one's heart will not be confused. Therefore, the governing of the saint is to empty one's mind, substinate one's virtue, weaken one's worldly ambition, and strengthen one's essence. She lets the people be innocent of worldly knowledge and desire. and keeps the clever ones from making trouble with their wits. She acts naturally without desire, then everything will become accomplished in its natural order. Chapter 4. The Tao, the way, can be infused into nature and put use without being exhausted. It is so deep and subtle, like an abyss, that it's the origin of all things. Round off sharp edges, resolve confusion, harmonize with the glory, act in unity with the lowliness. Tao is so profound and yet invisible. It exists in everywhere and anywhere. I do not know whose son it is. It existed before heaven and earth. Chapter 5. Nature nurtures all things with the wholeness of complete virtue. It shows the greatest and perfect kindness by giving life to let all things grow and accomplish them without the hastening of harvest. Therefore, according to ancient customs, nature may seem unkind to regard all beings as a traditional straw dog for sacrifice. And likewise, with a saint, he may seem unkind to regard people as traditional straw dog for a sacrifice. The space between heaven and earth is like the bellows. It appears empty, yet it gives a supply that never fails. The more it moves, the more it brings forth. Many words lead to exhaustion. It is better to center on the true essence within. Spirit of the valley is immortal. It is called the mystic nature. The gate of the mystic nature is regarded as the root of the universe. It is everlasting and cannot be consumed. Heaven is everlasting, and earth is enduring. The reason that they are everlasting because they do not exist for themselves. Hence, they are long-lived. Thus, although the saint puts himself last, finds himself in the lead. Although he is not self-concerned, finds himself accomplished. It is because he is not focused on self-interests, and hence can fulfill his true nature. Chapter 8. A person of great virtue is like the flowing water. Water benefits of all things and contends not with them. It puts itself in a place that no one wishes to be, and thus is closest to Tao. A virtuous person is like water, which adapts itself to the perfect place. His mind is like the deep water that is calm and peaceful. His kind heart is like is kind. His heart is kind like water that benefits all. His words are sincere like the constant flow of water. His governing is natural without desire, which is like the softness of water that penetrates through hard rocks. His work is of talent like the free flow of water. His movement is of right timing like water that flows smoothly. A virtuous person never forces his way, and hence will not make faults. Chapter 9. Those who overly pride wealth is like the overflowing water which shall cause damages. It is better to restrain early. Those who are not content with fame is like polishing the edge of a knife. The sharper it gets, the easier it is to break. Wealth and treasures are but illusions that one cannot possess. Those who are arrogant of their wealth and fame shall invite blame upon themselves. The nature Tao teaches one to retreat after one's success and not to hold on to the credit. Can one unite the body and the spirit as one and embrace the oneness without departing from the great Tao? Can one achieve harmony with such gentleness by holding on to the true spirit within as if the innocence of an infant? Can one free oneself from worldly knowledge and cleanse one's mind so that no faults shall be made? Can a ruler love his people by governing with natural way without personal intention? Can the mystic gate to all life essence be opened or closed without the virtue of the mysterious nature? Can one gain the insight of nature, become a wise person without the effort of action? The mysterious nature creates and nurtures all things without the desire to possess them. It performs with all efforts without claiming for credit. It flourishes all beings without the intention to take control of. Such is the mystic tea or mystic virtue. 30 spokes unite around one hub to make a wheel. It is the presence of the empty space that gives the function of a vehicle. Clay is molded into a vessel. It is the empty space that gives this function of a vessel. Doors and windows are chiseled out to make a room. It is the empty space in the room that gives its function. Therefore, something substantial can be beneficial, while the emptiness of void is what can be utilized. The 5 colors can blind one's eye. The 5 tones can deafen one's ear. The 5 flavors can dull one's taste buds. The pursuit of pleasures can derange one's mind. The hard-to-get valuables can distort one's behavior. Therefore, a saint cultivates himself with virtues and does not indulge himself in sensory pleasures. He rejects those outer temptations and chooses this true nature. Honor and disgrace can surprise a person. The greatest distress lies in one's physical body. What does it mean by honor and disgrace can surprise someone? Honor is inferior because one who wins the favor is afraid of losing it. And one who loses the favor is frightened with distress. This is the significance of honor and disgrace can surprise someone. What does it mean by the distress? The greatest distress lies in one's body. We have fear because we worry about our physical self. If one's body does not exist, how can one have fear? Therefore, he who value the world as much as he value himself can be entrusted with ruling the world. He who loves the world as much as he loves himself can be entrusted with the guidance of the world. What cannot be seen is called the invisible. What cannot be heard is called the inaudible. What cannot be touched is called the intangible. These 3 cannot be examined and comprehended, and hence are mixed together as one. The oneness, this oneness, is not much brighter in the sky as it is not much dimmer on earth. It is not more glorious as a saint as it is more fainter in an ordinary person. It is everlasting and cannot be named. It is the original void of non-being. It is the original void of non-being. This oneness is the TAO, which is invisible and formless. It may be regarded as vague and intangible. When the oneness TAO comes forward, it cannot be seen. Its front cannot be seen. When one tries to follow it, one cannot see its rear. By abiding with the original TAO, one can master the presence. He who knows this origin, shall know the teaching and the principle of the great TAO. Chapter 15. The ancient TAO cultivators were subtle and mysterious. They were of immeasurable profundity. Because they were too subtle to be known, so reluctantly they were being described as follows: cautious, as if crossing an icy river; hesitant, as if fearful of the surroundings; reverent, like an honorable guest; dispersed, like winter ice began to melt in spring; simple and sincere, like a genuine virgin; open-minded, like an empty valley; harmonized, like the turbid water. How can one turn the turbid water into clarity? A person of Tao would maintain peace in order to achieve pureness of the mind, and therefore shall not be disturbed by the worldly desires. After achieving pureness of the mind, how can one let it be everlasting? A person of Tao would unify and harmonize himself with all beings, which shall lead to eternity. Those who abide by this Tao will not indulge themselves in the desire of greed. It is because of this humbleness that enables one to embrace the original oneness, the great Tao. Chapter 16, human must not achieve the ultimate void and maintain calmness with sincerity in order to observe the growth and flourish of all beings. It is in this way that one can understand the law of nature. All things and beings will eventually return to the original source. This is called peace. Peace means returning to one's original nature. This original nature is the eternal law. To know the nature's law is to be enlightened. He who is ignorant of the nature's law shall act recklessly, and thus will invite misfortune. To know the constant law of nature is to be generous. Being generous, one is impartial. Being impartial, one is the sovereign. Sovereign is the nature itself. Nature is Tao. Tao is everlasting. When one's physical body dies away, Tao still long endures. In early ancient mankind, Tao has been in existence in one's true nature. Men possess it without knowing it. One then acts with virtue and honor, which is inferior to Tao. The less superior is to act with fear, and the least superior is to act with disgrace. This occurs because one does not have enough faith and hence has no confidence. The nature of Tao is distinguished by wordless teaching with the natural act of virtue without action. As such, people would act effortlessly and harmonize with the nature of Tao. When great Tao declines, virtue of humanity and righteousness shall arise. When knowledge and intelligence appear, great hypocrisy shall arise. When the six various family relationships are not in harmony, filial piety and compassion shall arise. When a country is in chaos, the loyal officials shall appear. Transcend the saints' teachings and extend kindness to its ultimate, and then polish to refine one's righteousness shall help people or regain filial piety and compassion. Employ one's subtle true natures with exquisiteness and extend one's personal benefit to share with others, shall eliminate robbers and thieves. These three statements are apparent, superficial, and not sufficient to express the natural way of the great Tao. Hence, this is what people should do: return to their original nature, their original true self, and embrace the pure oneness. Refrain selfish and diminish worldly desires. Enlightenment of the absolute Tao can free a person from worries and sorrow. How much is the difference between respectful response and an angry response? How great is the difference between good and evil? What people naturally fear, one should also fear. One's endless desire can result in negligence of the true nature of life. People like to pursue after excitement as if they were ascending the terrace in spring and celebrate a sacrificial feast. But I alone remain quiet and calm, like an infant who is pure and innocent. And I alone appeared to be lost like one who has nowhere to go. All people have a surplus, but I alone was simple and left out like a fool. People seemed bright and shrewd, while I seemed dull. People liked to dispute, while I alone remain quiet. I am calm and peaceful like the boundless ocean. I am open hearted and free like the wind blowing above the sky without hindrance. Everyone thinks of themselves as capable and outstanding while I appear unlearned. I am the only one to be different from others, that for I value highly the great Tao and joyfully act accordingly. Chapter 21. A man of great virtue is one who follows the natural way of Tao. This Tao is vague and intangible, yet in the vague and void there is image, there is substance. Within the profound intangible there is essence. That this essence is genuine. In it lies the great faith. Since the beginning of the world, Tao has been in existence. Only through it that one can understand the origin of all beings. How do I know that this is the true essence? It is through this natural way. To yield is to preserve the whole. To be misjudged is to be straightened. To be hollow is to be filled. To be battered is to be renewed. To be in need is to possess. To be abundant is to be confused. Therefore the saint embraces oneness as a standard for the world. The wise one is not prejudiced, missed this word up, is not prejudiced. Hence he is enlightened. The wise one is not self-opinion. Hence he is outstanding. The wise one does not boast himself. Hence he shall receive the credit. The wise one does not praise her own deeds. Hence can long endure. Because the wise one does not conflict with others, and therefore the world cannot contend against her. It is not true, the ancients say, to yield is to preserve the whole. Thus the oneness will be honored to her or him. That's the end of chapter 22, guys. I hope you enjoyed listening. I'll continue these tomorrow along with Union with God later today. I hope you guys tune in, comment below, like, share, subscribe. And thank you for watching and tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Bye.